When Saturn and Neptune are in the sky together, if you go back through history, you see a lot of borders changing. So there's conflict over borders, over who gets to live where, right? So, guys, or as my niece would say, in a moment like this, bro. Here's where the cosmic synchronicity becomes kind of staggering. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed on February 2nd, 1848, 177 years ago. This treaty ended the Mexican-American War and forced Mexico to cede 55% of its territory to the United States, including all of present-day California, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, most of Arizona and Colorado, and parts of several other states. The president was Polk. There's all this talk about manifest destiny, right? Like the white man was told by God to push his empire to the edge of the continent, no matter who it hurt. Sound familiar? So he starts a war with Mexico, which ends with Mexico's surrender and the dramatic redrawing of national boundaries. But here's the poetry. On February 2nd, 1848, the day the treaty is signed, Saturn and Neptune coming out of a conjunction. So they had been in an exact conjunction about a year earlier, but they're still well inside something called orb, new vocab word, which means they're still close enough to each other, deeply affecting each other. So we have that, and the war for the boundary for the border had been going on for this entire time, right? So Saturn and Neptune clashing meant Mexico and America were clashing. And the thing is resolved as Neptune and Saturn grew apart, of course. But on that day, Mercury is opposite Jupiter. And another powerful aspect between these two planets are so active on the 8th, when the National Guard is deployed, the same cosmic megaphone of grand proclamations about territory, about belonging. Even more extraordinary, though, on that same day in 1848, Neptune is conjunct Eris, as Neptune is entering the Pisces skyland for the first time in 165 years. Think about this. Eris, the uninvited truth teller, is crashing the party right as Neptune is beginning its journey through the realm of dreams and illusions, the place he just left now. So this conjunction launches and extends the dream of manifest destiny, which carried on for the 14 years of following 1848, right? Like this was an idea that carried on and expanded, totally disrupting the lives of everyone who lived on that land. Today I live in Mexico. Tomorrow I live in the United States, where I am unwelcome. 177 years of territorial expansion justified through increasingly disconnected from reality narratives about the divine right and American exceptionalism and who's supposed to live where. We are just so thoroughly coping with all of our original sins right now. Okay, so stay with me. Today, in 2025, we have Chiron, the guy who opens old wounds to heal them. Conjunct Eris, the disruptor, the gal who throws the apple into the party, causes the war, right? As Neptune is finally, for our cycle, our lifetime, leaving Pisces, that land of lies and delusion, misinformation, and entering Aries, the skyland of courage, leadership, strong, fiery spirit affecting everybody. The truth teller is back, but this time she's bringing healing rather than just rabble for rabble's sake, upending life. She's walking into the party with Chiron, the wounded healer. This time, the era of manifest destiny, dreams, delusions, is ending. And we are being forced to reckon with the wounds that those dreams created as this president behaves baldly, as if some more than others belong on that same fucking land. And listen, the dream is still mighty. The lie is still mighty. And a good chunk of Americans are here for it, for this violent removal of everyday people contributing to society through taxes and community and work. But many of us are watching this unfold, watching a city where a third of the residents were not born on this side of the border react strongly to the purposefully provocative, disruptive force of Ceres, Mother, and Eris, troublemaker. So the raids happening in Los Angeles and territories we literally took from Mexico through this treaty in this unbelievably parallel day are not just cruel policy, they are the death throes of a 177-year-old delusion about who belongs where and who gets to decide. I submit to you that Chiron's presence in this and the fact that a lot of what's happening is unfurling in the skyland of new beginnings, we are seeing the beginning of the very end of a very old, very, very, very worn out song. The loud words, the threats, all the puffed up chests, all the exaggerations, they're transparent. Anyone watching can see what this is and what it isn't. We do need to wake everybody else up from the spell they're under, and we will. But we have a ton of promise in the sky that it can break before we're through here.